Hi guys, Peter Nelson, Hobie University, and let's talk about strategies, tactics for sailing downwind. You've just rounded the weather mark and sheeted off, and now you're on your way to the mark. And how you sail this leg will depend on your position in the fleet, and particularly boats around you. Generally speaking, you want to sail the first half of the leg kind of high, keeping your air clear, and then the bottom half of the leg, you start really pushing lower and sailing lower, and I'll explain to you some of the strategies for that. And it's kind of more like if you're playing offense or defense. If you just rounded the mark, first thing I do is defense. Defense is the most important downwind, and that is keeping your air clear. There's been more times than I want to remember where I said, oh, I can sail lower than those guys, and I dive down. And a whole parade of Dacron would just be going over the top of me while I just sat dead. So defense is important. You round that weather mark, look behind you. If there's boats close behind you, you've got to defend your position. Keep your air clear. If what I like to do is somebody looks like they want to attack me and come over the top of me, I look back at it as I'm coming up hard. They're directly behind me. I come up hard, look back at them, and shake my head and let them know, no, I'm not going to let you go over me. If it's just one boat, let's just say you rounded the mark, one boat behind you, and there's nobody else for a while. Fine, I might let him do his own thing. It just kind of depends. That one I can't answer for you so easily. But I mean, usually when you round and there's a guy right behind you, there's usually another guy right behind him and another guy right behind him, and on it goes. And there you have to protect your air on the first half. And it's best if you let the other skipper know early on, so the two of you just aren't driving to, the far reaches of the corner. You can work together on that, all right? And that's your defense, all right, is to sail high that first half of the leg. Now, hopefully this guy, the guy behind you, isn't taking you out to wherever. And at some point, I'm just going to let him go. But I'm not going to initially. I'm going to let him take 2 or 3 attempts, and then we're going to settle in. And most smart skippers will say, fine. And we'll get into what he'll try to do next. And so I'm going to be sailing a little bit, keeping my air clear that first time. Basically just keeping him right behind me as best I can. When he goes low, I might start to bleed down a little bit. Sometimes, though, a tactic is to look like you're sailing low, and as soon as the boat ahead of you starts to bleed down, you come up. That's an offensive technique. We'll talk about that in a minute. But basically, the first half, I just want to keep him in my rear pocket. And as we get further down the run, and we're starting to approach halfway, I'm going to start letting him work up on my quarter, to my weather quarter. If he wants to go above me, I'm going to start letting him do that, because I figure that by the time he gets to a position where he can take my wind, I'm probably going to want to jibe anyhow. And that's what I mean is that first half, you really need to defend your clear air strongly. But as you get further down the run and you get closer to the second half and the jibe point, yeah, you let him go, and your defensive strategy starts to evaporate, and now you start to drive below him. Now, let's just say, let's talk about offense for a minute. You just rounded the weather mark and you're right on the tail of another guy. All right. And you look back because remember, defense is your primary interest right now. For instance, if you're sandwiched between two guys, I don't want to attack. I just want to sit there. All right. And I'm going to follow the guy in behind me. I don't want to send him, or I don't want to go way above him because I know he's going to go way above and we're going to be sailing extra distance. So I'm going to be basically just parked on his rear and looking for opportunities. And the guy, but I'm going to be protecting the guy behind me because again, that's my primary concern is the guy behind me. If he comes up, I come up, and the guy ahead of me probably comes up. And so it becomes this game all the way down. But getting back to that offense, I'm right behind another guy. And I'm usually not interested in going really high and passing somebody to weather because once I get past him, well, now he's the lure to me. I can't jibe. I mean, sometimes I passed a few people to weather where you get above them and then you can sink lower. If I am significantly faster downwind than the guy ahead of me, then I will try to pass him to weather. Because then I know I can take his air, get full ahead of him, and then drive down so that I'm in line with him. So when I jibe onto port, I'm not fouling him. But the guys I'm racing against these days, I'm not significantly faster than them, and sometimes they're faster than I am. So what I will do, though, in offense is I will start, as I'm the guy behind now, and what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start trying to work below him, all right? And I'm going to get, I'm going to just keep in little increments, just keep going lower and lower. And I'm going to start that early on. And the whole idea is I'm thinking ahead because by the time we get halfway or 3/4 of the way down that run and he's wanting to jibe, he can't jibe until I decide he jibes. I'm on starboard. He's on starboard, but he's going to be on port when he jibes and I control him. And I'm going to pick when I want to jibe. And all he can do is just follow me in. And that's how I can pass him. And that's a great offensive strategy for that. So in summary, you want to be on defense. Well, first of all, you have to assess going into the weather mark. Is somebody going to be behind you? Are you going to be behind somebody? What's the spacing on that? And that's going to help you develop your strategy. All right. All this stuff happens in advance. You don't just wait till you've rounded the mark. So as you're coming into the mark, you have you've set it up and you've decided, am I going to get defensive? Is my first goal. Don't let anybody pass me downwind because that's downwind. That's what gives the advantage to the guy behind. And then who can I pass, where, and how? And if I see some guys ahead of me and they're taking off way to weather and I got nobody behind me, yeah, boom, I'm going to dive low. But if I got somebody behind me, I got to keep my weather clear. Hope that helps. There's a lot of combinations. Just work with it. And keep in mind, defense, the first half, the guys behind you. Offense, the second half of the run, guys ahead of you. Good luck with it.